Dr. Surbi is there?
No, I think you're seeing the second page.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
Just 2 seconds. Diksha Rani.
Yeah, Diksha. Dr. Diksha is there? Yeah, she's going to talk about topo-guided versus WFO LASIK for correction of myopia and compound myopic astigmatism. अच्छा वो absent है.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Diksha. I'll be presenting on clinical outcomes of topography-guided versus wavefront optimized LASIK for correction of myopia and compound myopic astigmatism on Zeiss MEL 90. So in the past, topography-guided treatment has been used for irregular corneas, past decentralized ablation and smoothing of interior surface, whereas the recent evidence has shown its efficacy on normal corneas as well. So we use MEL 90 system for this treatment, where patients' eyes imaged and analyzed using unique elevation points in cornea. The data is then transferred data is analyzed at CRS master, and the customized ablation profiles are created on MEL 90 or MEL 80. The MEL 90 has recently introduced a AAA LASIK, that is advanced ablation algorithm, which provides a single ablation profile for wide range of sphere and cylindrical corrections. So we conducted a study comparing the AAA platform of MEL 90 versus the topo-guided treatment of the same. So we included 60 eyes which underwent topo-guided LASIK and 90 eyes which underwent AAA LASIK between January 2021 to September 2022. All the patients who were eligible for surgery and all the means were included. The flap thickness was 100 and the hinge position was superior. The preoperative parameters in both the groups were comparable in all the categories. So coming to the intraoperative parameters, while the ablation depth and diameter was similar in both, the ablation duration was higher in topo-guided group. This may be associated with a lower degree of patient cooperation during the surgery, and the difference in MEL 90 is because the topo-guided platform of MEL 90 fires at a lower frequency of 250 Hz in contrast to 500 Hz of the AAA LASIK. So coming to visual outcomes, more than 100% of the patients in both the groups achieved a UDV of more than 6/9, while more than 80% achieved a vision of more than 6/6. The complications in both the groups were similar. So here we can see that the post-op uncorrected distance visual acuity was comparable to the pre-op corrected distance visual acuity in almost all the patients. Around 8% of the patients gained 1 line in topo-guided group. The target refraction, the target correction was similar to the pre-op target, and around 95% of patients were within plus minus 0.5 diopters of the post-operative refraction, and this remained stable over 6 months. The results were similar in AAA LASIK, with 13% patients gaining 1 line, and 96% of them were within plus minus 0.5 diopters. So coming to higher order aberration profile, the total higher order aberration was similar in both the groups. Spherical aberration was slightly higher in the AAA LASIK group, but the difference was statistically insignificant. The coma was higher in topo-guided group, again maybe because of the vertical movements of the patients due to longer duration, while the spherical aberration was similar in both the groups. However, there was no statistically significant difference in any of these. So to conclude, AAA LASIK on MEL 90 imparts a highly safe and efficacious means of refractive correction of myopia and compound myopic astigmatism with visual outcomes and higher order aberration profile comparable to the topo-guided treatment. And however, the limitations are small sample size and retrospective design, and we would recommend a prospective study with a larger sample size and comparing the AAA LASIK platform with wavefront optimized and topo-guided treatment on other platforms, which would give us a better insight. Thank you.
In cases where there was a difference in the cylinder between the topo-guided, the topographic cylinder and in the manifest refraction, how did you all go about in these cases?
Sir, in MEL 90 does not have the topography modified algorithm as given in the contour of vision by Alcon. In those, we take the axis and the surface ablation calculated by the topographer.
By the topographer. So even the quantum of the cylinder is taken, even if there's a large difference between the two, you would go by the topography cylinder?
We treat the manifest axis, whatever the refraction is there, we treat that axis, but we just, the topography guided ablation is custom. It does not give us an option of choosing which refraction to fire, but we would manually entering the manifest axis, we're just adding it up with the topo guided, the data by the topographers.
So did you find any difference between recovery time and the,
No, sir, there was no difference.
no? So what is the rationale of your study?
So
This
the
is
rationale
not
of
a new study, I think.
Uh,
This is not a new study.
Yes, so the rationale of study is that recently the patients come to us with the demands of a topo-guided treatment, and we do not actually have data to tell them that practically there is no difference, though the thing is marketed more, but practically the visual outcomes in both the categories are same. So people who do not have this platform of topo-guided treatment, they should also have some data to actually tell that the results are practically the similar in both the groups.
The fact remains that Alcon is making a lot of publicity, and that's the reason those who are having Zeiss, they have this problem.
Yeah.
So I'm sure in AIMS also you are having this similar
We have
problem.
both the things in AIMS, sir.
Okay.
We have both the platforms in AIMS.
I think earlier it was not there, now they have not.
Yeah, for the last 4 years, both the platforms are there.
Okay.